Hello world, it's Goji with you once again. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm back with some big news today for Godzilla Day. We have kind of almost an emergency announcement. Yes, that is right. A new Godzilla film from Toho has just been announced, just been unveiled, and going to include the director from Godzilla Minus One. Now, is this a sequel to Godzilla Minus One? I got my Minus One figure from Super 7 right here hanging out with me. But the big question is this a sequel to Godzilla Minus One? Well, we don't know. We don't know a lot about this. This is a very, very it's a crazy big announcement with very little detail. We don't know much at this point. So we're going to cover all of that, and I'll give you guys my reactions. But there isn't that much to go over either. This is just giving you the news as it is right now. So let's go over to what the articles actually say. So we have here from Variety, I think it's a pretty good source. New Godzilla movie from Godzilla Minus One director, greenlit by Toho. So Godzilla is coming back. We have a new Godzilla film from the director of Godzilla Minus One, and it has been greenlit. They made the announcement on Friday. Takashi Yamazaki, who wrote and directed the film, he's going to come back. He's going to be also doing the VFX, of course. He won an Academy Award for it. But there really isn't much more detail after that. So we don't know if it's going to be a direct sequel or not. But obviously, Godzilla Minus One did tease Godzilla returning. Also, we, know that Noriko had that mysterious black mark on her neck. So again, there are things that they can really do with the story. So we definitely know that it's set up for more films. And in fact, let's look at the videos that Toho put out. So new Godzilla film announcement. Hopefully I don't get copyright for this, but a new Godzilla film. Production greenlit. VFX written and directed by Takashi Yamazaki. Further updates to follow. And then I believe he even was in a video. Yep. I'll be directing a new Godzilla film. Please stay tuned. Okay, so it's not a whole lot to go off. That's it. That's all we have right now. So not a lot to go to build off of, but here are the facts. It's a new Godzilla film from Toho. It's going to be written and directed, and he's going to do the visual effects. I don't know why they're not just announcing a sequel. I wonder if maybe it's not a direct sequel. Maybe it's a different take on Minus One, so maybe they don't call it a sequel, but my instincts tell me it has to be a sequel because it's the same director and everything, and it's a Toho film. So, and Minus One did very well at the box office. So my instincts tell me it's probably going to be something related to Minus One, but maybe not a direct sequel. Maybe it takes place years later. Maybe, which I don't know if I want to see that. I would like to see something that still takes place in the past, but maybe it takes place, I don't know, in the 50s or something, or in the 60s maybe. So it's not a direct sequel, but it kind of is at the same time. Or maybe it's something, it's a Godzilla film. I would prefer a Minus One sequel more than or something related to Minus One more than another new film with another, I don't really want Toho pulling what they did in the Millennium Era where they just kept kind of rebooting Godzilla over and over and over and over again, where they just made movies that have no connection to one another. Kind of a, that anthology style thing. I want some kind of continuity between these movies. So I would much rather prefer an actual sequel, or it doesn't have to be a direct sequel. Like I said, maybe it's related, maybe it's another Godzilla, maybe it's years later, it's with new characters and everything, but it's in the same universe, but it's not a direct sequel, so it's not really Godzilla Minus One. But I don't know. Because that's what bothers me. Why don't they just call this Godzilla Minus One, 2? Godzilla Minus 2 or whatever. I don't know what you're gonna call it. Why don't you call it that? Why don't you just announce it's a sequel to Godzilla Minus One? Why would you call it a new Godzilla film? I'm not sure if this is just like a weird marketing stunt that they're trying to do in order to kind of like, get us like all excited about, ooh, new Godzilla movie, and it's actually a -1 sequel. But it's like, oh my goodness, new Godzilla film. And in reality, it's a sequel to Godzilla -1. So I'm not really sure. It's an interesting way they've revealed it, but my instincts tell me it's going to be related to Godzilla -1, if not a direct sequel, something attached to it. And again, I kind of already made a video about like what I think we could see in a Godzilla -1 sequel. King Ghidorah is a big one. So is that what they're going to lead up to? Is that what this film is going to have? Is it going to have Godzilla and other monsters? He's kind of said he would like to explore other monsters, but also kind of like to see what happens when people have to deal in the aftermath of a Godzilla attack. To be honest, though, I really feel for like from a storytelling perspective, you really can't do much without bringing in other monsters. I really think to do another Godzilla film where it's again just Godzilla, how much more can you really do that you didn't do in the first film? Short of like, I don't know, bringing in the Oxygen Destroyer and this time destroying him for good. I don't know. I would rather. What would be the point as well? Like of another film with it just Godzilla? I'm not sure. So in my opinion, like I think there has to be other monsters in it, or a different take on Godzilla, or something very different. It can't just be Godzilla comes back and the humans try and kill him again. Like that would be silly. Like the first film was great and it worked. Why, the sequel should be something, it should expand on it, but it also should be something different, not just the same thing. So I would like to see something different this time. But I think, maybe that's what they were going to do. They just don't want to tell us yet. Maybe it's a different take on Godzilla. I'm not sure. I think, though, there's going to be something else to it. I don't think they would do the same thing as they did the first film. I still want it to be a period piece, though. I don't mind like a time jump of like a few, maybe decades if need be, maybe into the 60s. But I still want it to be I don't want it to be modern day. That's one thing. I'm sure he could make a great film set in the modern day, but I would love to see more films set in the past, because I think that's what makes these movies unique. Because we've had Toho doesn't really make anything set, hasn't made anything really set in the past until -1. There's been obviously like flashbacks, scenes that take place in the past, but I don't think we really had a film like -1 where it's all really set in the past. Really in the Godzilla franchise where they kind of make a period piece. So I would love to see something set. And I said this before in my previous video about a -1 sequel. I want to see a period piece film again. So we will see. We'll have to just stay tuned. And yeah, I'm not surprised we all knew -1 sequel or something, the new Godzilla film from Toho was going to happen. We don't have the release date yet. And again, I think this also goes back to Toho's deal with Legendary. We know the next MonsterVerse film is coming out in 2027. I think again Toho and Legendary have a deal that they can't release Godzilla movies at the same time. So it's either got to come out, this new Godzilla film has to come out either in 2026 or in 2028. More than likely, with how quickly Toho can do it, I think it's going to come out in 2026. So that's my theory. It may be later. I mean, it is already almost 2025. So if it's going to come out in 2026, they need to start filming they need to start filming next year. So it could be late 2026 again, like they did with Godzilla -1, or 2027. We may once again have a situation where a Godzilla film comes out in late one year and then months later another one comes out from Legendary. They may be once again months apart, like we just had like a year ago. So that's crazy. But I don't think it'll take them that long either. Again, it's just how they manage things with Legendary, which is crazy to think. Like in 2 or 3 years, we're going to have more Godzilla movies again. We're going to have another Toho Godzilla film. We're going to have another Legendary MonsterVerse film with Godzilla in it. And then don't forget, there's Monarch Season 2. There's spin-off shows for the MonsterVerse coming out. We don't have any details on those. So again, things still continue to develop with the Godzilla films, and I think everyone's excited, right, for a Godzilla film from this director, and it's probably -1 related. I want to see more stuff with this this incarnation of Godzilla, right? I think it's really cool what they've done with -1. I'd like to see more films with the minus one Godzilla in the minus one whatever universe, you know. And I think I don't want Toho doing some random nonsense, and I don't think they are. It's just like a new Godzilla and it's not related to minus one. I don't think they would do that. And minus one did so well. So we shall see. There'll be more news soon, and it's an exciting time. But I think also people will be excited because, you know, obviously it'll be Godzilla related. You know, there's gripes that the MonsterVerse doesn't focus enough on Godzilla. And so at least we have something to kind of balance that out, that we have something from Toho that we know will be very high quality and will feature Godzilla mainly. And again, I'm not here to also like, you know, crap on the MonsterVerse. You know, I'm not going to take sides here, right? Like, oh, I like Legendary, I like Toho. I'm not. I've criticized Toho many times in the past, and I will continue to criticize Toho when I feel like they do things unfairly. And any big company, I'm not here to defend big companies. They're giant corporations. I'm not here to. I don't know why people on the internet like to defend giant corporations. I'm not here to defend any giant corporation. I don't care for Legendary or Toho. I'm here to. I'm a Godzilla fan, so if they make Godzilla content, I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna enjoy it. But also, if I don't enjoy it, I'm gonna be honest about it, right? So, anyway, exciting times. Yeah, there's not really much else to say. I've probably rambled on long enough as it is, but hopefully there'll be more news before end of the year, and yeah, maybe they'll start production next year, and maybe 2026 we'll maybe get a release. You know, we'll get closer to a release date and a trailer and everything. So exciting times as always to be a Godzilla fan. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Oh yeah, happy Godzilla Day, of course, as well. It's Godzilla Day. So yeah, hope you're enjoying Godzilla Day and everything. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!